The room went quiet for just a moment before laughter rippled through the crowd. Standing beneath the bright lights of the Trump Kennedy Center, Donald Trump leaned into the microphone and dropped a confession no one expected.
And, I was out the other day with somebody, and I was with an ex-football player. The guy was massive. His leg was like this, and a young woman who plays flag football.
Not about politics, not about policy, but about dancing. More specifically, about how Melania Trump, the woman known worldwide for her elegance and restraint, absolutely hates his now infamous YMCA dance. And yet, moments later, he would do it anyway. Arms swinging, music blasting, the Village People anthem echoing through the hall, turning a formal presidential speech into a viral pop culture moment once again. This wasn't just another off-the-cuff remark from Donald Trump. It was a glimpse into the private dynamic of one of the most scrutinized couples on Earth. As the audience listened, he revealed that Melania Trump, often described as poised, reserved, and classically dignified, had repeatedly urged him to stop dancing in public. According to him, she finds it unpresidential, a word that hung in the air as both a critique and a challenge. And true to form, Trump embraced that challenge head-on. Before getting to the dancing, Donald Trump launched into a story that felt familiar to anyone who has followed.
I'm gonna break the record for her mom who's sitting in the front with her father. I'm gonna break it. And she's out there. We're adding 1/8 of an ounce to each side. This record has stood, ladies and gentlemen, for 18 years. But she's gonna do it. She's looking.
His speaking style over the years. He described being out with a former football player, a massive ex-athlete whose leg, he said, was larger than the entire body of a young woman who plays flag football. The imagery was vivid, exaggerated, and intentionally provocative. He painted a picture of two people on the same field, arguing that if they played together, the man wouldn't even have to run. He could simply walk, untouched, unstoppable. As the audience reacted, Trump expanded the point, shifting from football to long-distance racing. He spoke about marathon competitions, claiming that champion men finished hours ahead of champion women, by more than 5 hours. According to his account, he framed it not just as a difference, but as something he called demeaning and ridiculous, language that immediately sparked strong reactions both inside the room and far beyond it, once the footage hit social media. Then came weightlifting. Donald Trump described a record that had stood for 18 years, broken not by a narrow margin, but by 112 pounds. He acted out the scene, mimicking announcers adding tiny fractions of weight to the bar, building suspense as a female lifter prepared to break a long-standing record. He described the athlete's parents sitting proudly in the front row, her determination, the drama of the moment. And then, according to his story, she failed. The weight dropped, tears followed. The parents cried. Moments later, he said, a man stepped up, casually lifted the weight with ease, as if it were nothing. The contrast was the point of the story, delivered in Trump's signature theatrical style. The crowd alternated between laughter, discomfort, and applause. But then, unexpectedly, the story took a turn, inward, away from athletics and back towards the personal. My wife hates when I do this, Donald Trump admitted, pausing for effect. He described Melania Trump as very classy, emphasizing her belief that certain behaviors simply do not belong in the image of a president. According to him, she told him plainly that his antics, including the dancing, were beneath the dignity of the office. And yet, he couldn't resist reminding the audience of one crucial fact: he still became president. As the story continued, Trump revealed that Melania once asked him a question that stuck with him. "Could you imagine Franklin D. Roosevelt dancing?" she reportedly said. The comparison was striking. FDR, remembered as one of the most elegant and composed leaders in American history, navigating the nation through war and crisis, contrasted sharply with Trump's bombastic, showman-like approach. Trump acknowledged the point, even praised Roosevelt's elegance, despite noting their political differences. But agreement didn't mean compliance. Donald Trump insisted that the crowd loves it when he dances. He described audiences chanting, "Dance, dance," as music plays, dismissing Melania's claim that people were just being polite. In his telling, the energy becomes electric, the room erupts, and the moment transforms into something bigger than politics, a shared spectacle. That tension between dignity and entertainment, between tradition and disruption, has always defined Trump's public persona. And in this moment at the Trump Kennedy Center, it was on full display. Melania Trump, the former First Lady who rarely speaks publicly and almost never reveals personal opinions, suddenly became the unseen voice of restraint in the story, a quiet counterbalance to her husband's relentless appetite for attention. As the speech neared its end, the audience likely wondered whether he would actually do it. Would Donald Trump respect his wife's wishes? Would he leave the stage with words alone? Or would he, once again, turn a formal setting into a viral sensation? The answer came with music. The unmistakable opening notes of YMCA by the Village People filled the room. The crowd reacted instantly, cheers erupting as Trump smiled. And then, just as he had promised, and just as Melania Trump reportedly hates, he danced. Arms moving in the familiar rhythm, body swaying, the president leaned fully into the moment, unbothered by critics, tradition, or decorum. "Young man, there's no need to feel down," the lyrics rang out, echoing through the hall. For Donald Trump, this wasn't just a song. It was a statement, a refusal to conform, a reminder that he has always governed, campaigned, and performed on his own terms. Social media exploded within minutes. Clips of the dance spread across platforms, paired with commentary ranging from amusement to outrage. Supporters celebrated it as proof that Trump is authentic, unfiltered, and unashamed. Critics called it embarrassing, inappropriate, and symbolic of everything they believe undermines the presidency. And at the center of it all was Melania Trump, once again silent, her disapproval revealed only through her husband's words. What makes this moment so compelling isn't just the dance itself, it's what it represents. A marriage where public image and private preference collide. A presidency where spectacle often overshadows substance. And a cultural divide where one man's humor is another person's humiliation. Melania Trump has long been an enigma. From her carefully chosen outfits to her measured public appearances, she has cultivated an image of restraint. Her reported discomfort with Trump's dancing reinforces that contrast. Where he thrives on applause, she values composure. Where he embraces chaos, she seeks control. And yet, despite her objections, Donald Trump continues. Because for him, the reaction, positive or negative, is the point. The dance becomes a metaphor for his entire political career. Critics shake their heads, supporters cheer louder, and the spotlight never leaves him. As the final notes of YMCA played and the crowd roared, one thing became clear. This wasn't just a light-hearted confession or a throwaway joke. It was a reminder that Donald Trump remains exactly who he has always been. Unpredictable, defiant, entertaining to some, infuriating to others. And somewhere beyond the cameras, Melania Trump, the woman who hates the dance, once again watched her husband ignore convention, ignore criticism, and dance anyway.